All right, folks, welcome to the Random Files. I'm your host, Wolf. And with me tonight, as always, is, let's see here, Anthony. Yeah. And then we have, let's bring Richard on. What's up, Richard? Let me get my
What's up,
headphones in
buddy?
so I can talk to this guy.
How you doing?
What's going on, Richard?
How are you tonight, buddy?
Or as the guy from Real Random Files kept calling you Dick.
Yeah, I know, right?
He was emphasizing it too. He was like,
I,
Dick.
I know he loved it.
He was loving calling you that.
Yeah. No, it's like, dude, I named myself that.
It's almost like you came from a tribe of phallic worshippers.
Yeah.
You know what?
If I didn't know any better, I
You're
would
an
think that.
uncircumcised Richard. You shouldn't be,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. He just kept on with that crap. He was angry. That was on the Real Random Files. What was that? What was that on?
What day was that?
Saturday, I believe.
Saturday.
Was it?
Yeah, that was Saturday. So that would have been what, the second?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the second? No. It was the first.
I don't know. We're on the 6th now.
First.
Right?
No, it was the first. So
Yeah.
go back to the episode on the Real Random Files on Rumble on August 1st, and you'll see this man becoming very angry with Master Dick here and getting so mad.
I love how he pretended like he didn't know what I was talking about when I was talking to him, eh?
That was pretty funny.
I
The thing
know.
is, though, I mean, your real name is Richard, right?
Exactly. So it is what it is.
So you call yourself Dick because Richard, Dick is short for Richard. I don't know why.
It's an English thing, same as
Well,
Billy's
Billy.
short for William.
William. It's a weird thing, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a bunch
because
of
my
weird
uncle, his real name is Billy. He's the third, or he's the second of his name. And my cousin Trey, who's been on the show, on the other show, and their name's William.
Do you call him Billy the third?
We don't call them. We call them Billy. We call one of them Butch and the other one Trey.
Okay.
So Billy's, but Billy was my great uncle. Right. So he's like always, referred to as Billy, and I called him Uncle Bill.
Mhm.
But his real name is William. And I remember when I was with him one time when I was a kid, and there was this guy he was picking up his dry cleaning. This guy called him William, and I'm like, who the hell is William? I was a kid, and I got in the truck with him, and I'm like, Uncle Bill, why did that guy call you William? He said, because that's my real name. I said, oh, okay. Yeah.
Kids are
He was a
dumb.
hard guy. A lot of people didn't like him, but I liked him. I mean, he always treated me good. I mean, he might have been mean to my dad and, to his son, Butch, but he always treated me really, really good. But,
All
yeah,
matters.
Trey was my cousin that I grew up with. We were very close, and he lived in the Wind River Reservation at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been on the show. He was with a Shoshone woman for a few years.
Do they shell out the money to the indigenous people like they do here in Canada?
I couldn't tell you that. I know they don't do it in Texas because I'm a quarter Comanche, and I can't get anything. Here in Texas, they're like, "Nuh-uh, I ain't giving you nothing."
Oh yeah, you'd be rolling in the loot here, buddy.
They hate the Comanches though here because of that. I mean, they were brutal. The Comanches did something. They studied the Spanish, and they learned about horses.
Oh.
Yeah, the Spanish were the only ones to ever defeat them in open battle. Like they defeated them in the border of New Mexico in a battle. I'm not going to get into a whole detail here, but the Spanish lancers inflicted a defeat on them, and it was just one general. He was actually a colonel, but he did it twice. And so the Comanches left that area, and they learned. Every time they would be defeated or anything would happen, they would learn from it. And they just evolved and became more brutal. They were probably the most brutal of all the natives. They weren't cannibals. They didn't like the Karankawas and the Tonkawas because of that, because they were cannibals. They persecuted them, and they tried to eradicate them because of their cannibalism.
Makes sense.
But they were hunters, the buffalo and the antelope. They followed the herds. They were nomadic, and they were just brutal, warlike people. I don't romanticize it. Some people are like, oh, you're native? Yeah, I'm a quarter, but you could see the beard. It's, my dad's like 90% Northern European, and my mother is just pure Spaniard and Comanche. That's all it is.
Weren't they the ones that could shoot like 3 or 4 arrows at the same time, or within a like the machine gun arrow thing? Didn't Lars Anderson?
No idea, dude. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
sure that was their thing.
But the Thracians could do it too. There were a lot of people who could do that. They were great at shooting arrows from horseback. There was even a name for the cavalry of the Japanese. What were they called? The Usabi or They even have them on Age of Empires. There's a type of they're on Age of Empires. This horseback arrow, whatever.
The horse archers.
Yeah, there's a type of they're called the Yasubi or whatever. I've seen videos, not AI either, of these dudes doing it ceremonially. From Japan, and they would just shoot with just holding onto their horses by their legs, and you're like, gosh dang it. And there was a type of people now they live in Turkey, but there's a specific tribe that could do it too. Let's bring on Anna. Hey Anna, how you doing? Oh, her face is covered.
Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hey, Richard. Of course, my dogs start barking immediately the second I come on. They were quiet the whole time until now. Sorry, guys.
So if your screen is different, there's 2 different streams, I guess, going on at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah, one is a vertical, one is a just regular.
And one has 55 people, and the other has 74. Is that
I
what
guess
I'm looking at?
so. That's weird.
Yeah, well, you made 2 different streams. You'll have 2 different groups of people. It's not weird. It's
Split 'em
dumb,
up.
but
it shows 79 people altogether. I guess so it says 83 people, and 59 are on one, and the rest, I guess, are on the vertical stream.
okay. Because on my screen, it looks really weird. There's like
Yeah.
this and then this about, But tonight, what we were going to talk about, I mean, a lot. Just every week, there's too many subjects. We have too much is going on, And I just did Bigfoot and the Nature of Reality on Patreon for Paranormal Roundtable. So I hope some people followed us from over there. Tonight, though, I want to talk a little bit about Joe Felz. I didn't know much about this guy until this week, until this happened. Like, I went back and I realized that I guess I was following him or something, because I guess I saw something of his a while back and it was just like, oh, I like this guy, whatever. But I wasn't like an avid follower of him. And at first, when they said he passed away, I'll be honest, I didn't know who that was. And then I looked and I said, oh yeah. So he was doing something that caught the attention of people. He was, Anna, you want to get into it, or who wants to lead here?
Yeah, I put myself on mute since my dogs were going nuts for a second. So I wasn't actually as familiar with him until you guys had started talking about him, and then I looked into it. And you're talking about the guy that was scanning all the old copies of the Bible and everything, right? And then he was, yeah. So from my understanding, people were sending him really ancient copies of the Bible from all over the world, and he was taking in this information, he was scanning it, and I think part of the reason is because these AI databases, they are buying up old copies of documents and books, they are scanning it into the databases, and then they are completely destroying all copies. Not good, folks, not good. I'm sure everybody can imagine why they are doing that, and it's probably
I'm not
not
laughing
for...
at you. I'm distracting.
Sure.
My cat. Well,
No.
Show the cat, Anthony, because he got in here. I didn't even know he came with us. There he is. Say hi, Martis.
Yeah, he just intruded.
Because he was pawing at my leg, and that's why I kept looking down. I wanted to make sure that
There you go, Mama.
there he is.
Scratch him, kitty.
No, he don't use his claws on you, but he just. I was like, "What are you doing?" And I looked down, and there, because he kind of startled me at first. I didn't know he was in here, so I didn't know he was with us. Anyway, I'm sorry, Anna. Go ahead.
What's the dude's name from 1984 that's responsible for changing all the history? He's one of the main characters. But that's what it's doing in live time.
It's been a long time.
That's what the AI is doing in live time. It's doing his literal job.
No, but now you got me thinking. It's from Orwell's book. Oh my gosh, what is his name?
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat will know.
I know
Yeah.
what it is.
Big Brother? What was it? Didn't they just call him Big Brother?
No. He's actually one of the main
But he
characters.
had an actual name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, I haven't read that book
Yeah.
since 1991.
Is it Peter?
Mm.
Anyway, sorry,
I don't
Anna.
know.
I don't mean to.
I don't remember.
Interrupt.
Somebody said Winston.
No, it's fine. That's what we're here for. Open
Yeah,
discussion.
but Winston Smith.
Winston Smith. There you go.
Winston,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Because he's one of the Smith. Because
Yeah, Winston.
if you watch The Matrix, they call him the Smiths. Yeah, and I remember thinking that could have been.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
From I wanted to call him Wardlow.
Yeah,
I don't know where the
that
hell
makes
I get it.
sense.
Wardlow. I was
It'd
gonna
be a
blurt
good
that
name.
out like Wardlow. I'm like, why is
Wardlow.
that? Why is that his name?
Wardlow. It's funny too, because with this whole AI thing, before I had even heard about them doing this with AI, with buying up the books and destroying all the copies, I had talked to people about that and how that's what I thought they were probably going to wind up doing. And then sure enough, that's exactly what they're doing. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that that's where this was all going to go, though. But so I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm sure a lot of people figured that was what was going to happen. But sure enough, that's what they're doing. And so it's sad. People were sending him copies of, I don't know if it was just Bibles. I'm not sure if you guys know. But they definitely were sending him really cool old copies. They showed photos of him, and he had these photos in front of some of these Bibles. And they were like super thick ones and really, really old looking. And I guess he said that he was discovering some really interesting stuff in these that is not in most of our modern copies, which also is not surprising. Plus, they come out with like 1,001 different versions, which is a pet peeve of mine. You change just one or two little words or sentences, and it completely changes the meaning. Oh, well, to help modern audiences
Anna, you're breaking up really
understand
bad.
better. Oh, am I? Shoot.
Yeah, you're kind of like every
these-
other word is.
Is it still happening?
Yeah, you're all right now.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. They say that when they change like one or two little words around with these different, like 1,000,001 different versions of these new Bibles, they say, well, it's to help modern audiences to better understand the gospel. And I'm sitting here going, no, they're obfuscating some of the original meanings behind the scriptures. That's my opinion of why they're creating all of these different versions, because it totally changes the meaning behind some of these verses when they fiddle with that stuff. So, like my mom would always tell me, the older the Bible that you can get, the more accurate it's going to be. And I think she was absolutely true, absolutely right about that. And so that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to copy in all this information before AI could get its hands on it. And then he winds up dead. And from what I understand, he had told people, I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to hurt myself. And if anything happens to me, look into it. And now he's dead. So people can think what they want about that. I know what we all think.
Funny how many people have said that and then winded up like that a few weeks later, isn't it?
Was it the Bible
Yeah, including
information, or was it the information about the giants that he was looking into, or was it the free energy, or was it all of the above?
I know he had
Well,
a
I was
bunch
just
of
going to mention a lot of this. I was just going to say a lot of these scientists lately that have wound up dead, the ones that were looking into free
Your sound is
anti-gravity
just-
technology. Oh, shoot. Okay. Let me try. Let me try something else real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, no big surprise. They're
You
messing
just go
with
ahead
the
and
mic.
talk.
It's been like that, man. Anna's
Yeah,
had some
right.
issues with her mic.
Yeah, I
She's
had a bunch
controlled
of
opposition.
issues.
She's coming out here to mess up the show. She
Yeah.
wants to mess up our.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's hard to
else?
diagnose what it is. I don't know. It could be your mic, it could be your connection, it could be your laptop. I don't know.
Yeah, he had a bunch of books on esoteric subjects. He had a bunch of books on witchcraft subjects. He had a bunch of books. And here I go. Amazing.
Yeah. So you're messing up too. Wow. Great. That's that's a little weird.
Yeah, the Lord rebukes their
Hmm.
interference. Amazing.
Well, that's weird.
Try it again, Anna.
Yeah, hang on one second. Um, can you guys hear me at all on these? Anything?
Yeah, crazy low.
Yeah, we put Joe's name in the title.
I'm not sure why
Mhm.
you can't hear me.
Yeah, the video I saw about him yesterday had all sorts of esoteric books and books from ancient Babylon and ancient books about witchcraft and Freemasonry, and it ran the whole gambit of all the stuff we should know. And
You know what's interesting is, and this is interesting, and people should know this. Before the creation of the European Union, and this is very important, my cousin is married to a guy from Romania, and he's an Orthodox Christian. They, before the European Union, they took certain things out of the Bible. They had certain things in the Bible, and a lot of these books, you could find them anywhere in Europe.
Mhm.
But after the formation of the European Union, certain, we'll call them powers, certain powers went to work taking certain things out of the Bible. Certain countries that wanted to join the European Union out of necessity for their economies and things like that, not getting left out of trade and things, they got roped into this crap. And so they made certain changes to the church, and it was government imposed. And they imposed certain things on these countries and their Bibles, even like who killed Jesus. That had to be removed from the Orthodox Bible in certain countries.
Amazing.
Sorry.
There's an episode of Amazing Discoveries. It's that South African professor guy. Can't remember what his name is now. But he goes on, he did an episode about which Bible to use. And he goes through a whole bunch of different Bibles, and he goes through the NIV, and there's like over 200 scriptures removed from the NIV, including the one about prayer and fasting, where it's one of the most important parts of spiritual warfare that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
He goes through every single verse that's taken out.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's either the NIV or the ESV, English Standard Version. One of those was actually published by this company that also publishes like books on Satanism and witchcraft.
Yep.
And I think it's the NIV. The Morning Star and the Son of the Morning are flip flopped.
Exactly.
So originally, Christ is the morning star, and Lucifer is son of the morning. In the NIV, it flips that to where Christ is son of the morning and Lucifer is a morning star.
Exactly.
So you can't trust any of it. Like any little thing that's changed, it's deliberate. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the download. Romania and Bulgaria became members of the EU as part of the fifth wave expansion on January 1st, 2007. So I was shown a Bible at Thanksgiving 2024. I remember because I had a horrible kidney stone. And I still managed to be a trooper and make it to Thanksgiving, and I didn't want to just lay there while everybody else enjoyed Turkey Day, so I had to go. And I remember my cousin's husband being there because we had two Thanksgivings to go to, and the second one, I remember we went. And oddly enough, it was at the ranch we have now, the ranch house, because at that time my cousins had it. And he was showing me the Bible, the two different versions of it. So it used to say Pontius Pilate and the blanks executing Christ, right? Now it just says by order of Pontius Pilate on their Romanian
Mm-hmm.
Pontius Pilate. the Orthodox Bible. See, there's like a weird echo now. It's coming back into
Yeah, what
my,
is that?
it's a feedback.
Sorry, hang on. Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
But, there's also passages in the Bible that have always been there. And one of them I like is, when it talks about the elect being fooled. Do you know what part of the Bible that is? Richard, you should know. You're always.
I know.
up
I
on the
should
Bible.
know. I know. You stumped
The
me on this one.
elect, if it was possible, even the elect would be fooled.
Isn't that Revelation something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's that going?
How's what going? Being fooled?
Being fooled. Yeah, the elect being fooled right now.
I don't know. Are we the elect? Because you would have to know in your heart that you're the elect. But so many people think they are.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
why when
about.
Jesus returns, there's going to be a whole bunch of people going, but Lord, I cast out demons in your name. And Jesus is like, well, you use my name. You could go to certain places and throw somebody's name out there and they'll be like, oh, okay, we respect you. But you must know him. That's somebody important. But it's not the same as that person knowing you. That's the difference. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
So Matthew 24,
Yeah.
24 in the King James Version. And it basically says, let's see if I can get it. Let me pull it up. I think it's about false prophets and. All right, here it is. Glasses. I can't see. Here, just read. Let Anthony read it. I can't see without my glasses right now.
It says, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect."
So if it were possible, which basically says that it's not, you're not going to be deceived. Because there's things that do things. There's a show that I'm going to do on Paranormal Roundtable come up. That's a very important one. And it's going to be during Ghost Week, and hope, Anna, you show up and you'll be a part of that. Not this particular show, but
Definitely.
to tell your stories, because we're going to do a lot of. We have so much ghost material, and one of them is called The Werewolf's Mask, and it is about deception. And you would think, well, that one should be on the Werewolf Week. No, and there's a reason for it. Because when I read that story, I was like, wow. And so when I reached out to this person and she was talking about it, and it is a deception that happens. People present themselves, it happens all the time, that when they're weak, they pretend to be strong. And when they're strong, they play like they're weak. And they're just like, oh, I'm giving up, blah, blah, blah. It's a strategy when you're in a fight to feign like you're like, oh, you got me. I can't even move my right arm until you throw the killing blow. I mean, that's it. These people, they are always so puffed up with pride of what they think they know, and then they go out on their own. Striking out on your own is a great idea if you have Christ and you're not really alone. Because when you start going on your own and thinking, oh, we got this fixed, we got it covered, and you don't bring Christ, and then something always happens, that things don't work out. And the worst thing we can do is depend on man or on ourselves.
Yeah.
How many people can really say that they trust themselves? I got a friend who I'm not going to even dare say his name. He's a great guy. Anthony knows him. Nellie knows him. One of my best friends ever since childhood. And he had a bad cocaine addiction. And he told me himself right there in my living room, he said, if I had cocaine in front of me, I'd do it. So he doesn't leave the house with cash. His wife would give him a credit card. That's all you get. You go to work, you come back. And for years, he had to do that to break that addiction, because you start thinking, oh, yeah, I'm good. I got this. And you lean on your own, Yeah, Nellie just said it right there. Do not lean on the arm of flesh. Because when you do that, that's when things happen. Now, I didn't know Joe Felz, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. But multiple friends of mine did, and some of them had tributes to him and everything. And from what I know about the guy, he was extremely intelligent. And the powers that be are getting nervous. They're getting worried, and they're making mistakes by doing things. If this, just the fact that this guy passed, even if it was not some sort of weird assassination, by him passing and having been someone who was doing the work he was doing, it's highly suspicious, and it brings into question, what do these people have planned for the rest of us? This guy was not that old. He didn't have a disease that we know of. So, like I said, it doesn't look good, you know? So if you are a bully and you make a threat towards someone, and then that person goes and they trip and fall and die in front of a bar even, well, who do you think they're going to look at? They're going to be like, well, Fontaine said, he hopes he was going to do something, this guy. He hopes something happens to him. The state has become the bully. That now when something happens, you're looking at them going like, okay, because you're willing to start wars to appease not just one side, but both sides. You're willing to assassinate leaders. You're willing to take out people and shoot them in the neck in front of everybody. And you're suppressing people. You're suppressing information, knowledge. You're taking down people's channels. You're shadow banning people. All kinds of things they're doing. You can't find anything hardly at all about this situation on Google. And you know what I'm talking about. You can't. So you go back to the beginning before the European Union, and I had a ton of books. I have a whole library put away of about 1,000 books in different languages that are out of print. And learning to read and write, not write so much, but learning to read in a foreign language is not as hard as it is to speak it. I really believe that. You can read the words and you can figure it out. With the modern technology of this thing here, you can just go, what is this word? Put it in and figure it out. And then after a few times, you'll figure out the flow. And now you can read in French or German or whatever. And then you'll be the smarter for it, because a lot of these books now, the governments of the world in Asia and in Europe in particular, they have done everything they can to get rid of and silence their opposition. And these books, they're being taken out. And you would not believe the Bible, man, being mistranslated, retranslated, repurposed. And funny enough, Muslims are like, no, it does not happen to the Quran. Yes, it does. The Quran, when you read it in Arabic, is completely different than when you read it in Chinese. Or if you read it in English. It doesn't translate at all. Or is it just being mistranslated? Mistranslated so that you can create armies of hyper whatever extremists, which is what they've done. The communists, the first thing they did was burn Bibles and Qurans, and they banned religion. When they took over the Soviet Union, the first thing they did was ban religion. I was watching a documentary the other night, and it was about the Eastern Front, and I wrote that song that you guys know about the Eastern Front. And they were talking about it, and they were saying Hitler believed that that a small clique of people that wear the little hat on their head ruled over the Soviet Union, and everybody else was just a peasant that was being ruled over. It was a stuffy British historian. All the historians are British, so it's always slanted, and they're all ancient. They're like, Of course, when you're English, you look like you're 80 when you're 45, so you really don't know how old these people are. But they look like Gandalf, the Twilight years. So they're sitting there, and they're this teeter-tottering, going, Hitler believed that they were always... And they say it with this ridiculousness, like they're full of purpose and whatever. Bullshit, dude. He was correct. It was a small clique of those people that lorded over the rest of the peasantry. And as soon as the NKVD came calling, they all ran and joined it, and they took it over, and they ran it, and they destroyed Christianity in Russia. Not completely. The seeds were still there. But that's what they did. And now you have the Bible being changed because, oh, you want to join the European Union because you like to eat and survive? then you can join us and we'll trade with you. Or you can stay an outcast and just be on your own, like Poland, because they refuse to allow a bunch of people into their country to be overrun and be slaughtered. And I know it's not something people don't want you to say that, but it's the truth. But anyways,
Oh, it's absolutely true. And it's funny how they tell you the truth, but they sort of invert the way that they say it and make it like it's, like it's nonsense. Like you said, I saw that exact same thing you were talking about, where they talked about the small little cabal of people that, ran the Soviet Union and blah, 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 but made it sound like it was stupid. It's like, no, you guys are historians. You should know that that's exactly what happened. And you know what happened, but you're just trying to skew the facts. Like 60 million dead Christians is no small feat.
yeah,
Did I tell you
destroying a religion in a country the size of the Soviet Union.
Did I tell you that I saw I just happened to turn on the TV and it was the 50th anniversary of the Chinese Revolution speech. And the Chinese cultural minister, it was a woman. I was listening to part of her speech. It was in whatever Cantonese or Mandarin, I don't know which one. But she said, the only part that she said in English, she goes, "We have killed 120 million dissidents since the start of the revolution." And then she repeated it in English. And that was the only part of the entire speech that she repeated twice and repeated in English.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, dude.
Just point this out. They just said it.
Yeah, she's smiling when she said it. We have killed 120 million people.
I'm sure.
Since the of our own people since the revolution. 120 million dissidents since the revolution. Yeah.
Dissidents.
And then repeated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was flabbergasted. I'm like, how does nobody see this? Like,
And
Yeah.
Madeline you ask AI and it says only 2 million. 2 million doesn't even scratch the surface, dude. 2 million people died just at the siege of Leningrad. I mean, people don't realize,
exactly.
like those sieges in those major cities where they like Kursk, Leningrad, Stalingrad. It was a horrible, but people misinterpret what was going on. They really believe, people really believe, and they're full of fervor about it, that we are to run around and call the left, if you're on the right, you call the left Nazis. And that is the stupidest thing you could ever do, because these people are not Nazis. They are Bolsheviks. They are communists. They are the polar opposite of Nazis.
Yeah.
But because the left has co-opted that term to the point where, they make you feel like, the Nazi is the evilest thing that has ever existed. That it's even more evil than the devil. Like devil worship is even, and that's because of brainwashing of decades and decades of cultural Marxism that has brainwashed you into believing. Because what people don't realize is during World War II, and I've said this many, many times, there were multiple countries involved. In fact, the two that we just talked about from the European Union, Romania, they lost 600,000 soldiers. That is a huge number. That just eaten up by the Soviet Union by fighting this Red Dragon, this horrible, horrible power. They were just evaporated. And then Italy, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, so many countries, Finland, Spain. People don't realize who was involved. They think it's just German against it was Nazi versus the Russians. And they don't even put the spin on it like they should. They say Nazi versus Russians. Instead, it should be Germans versus communism. The Germans were the spear tip, but there was a huge, huge number. You look at 2.6 million people invaded the Soviet Union, and less than 1 million of them were German. So that means that over 1.5 million of them were other Europeans trying to stop this. Now, there was very little opposition when they went through Ukraine. The left is stupid when they say, well, this is the Nazis all over again. The Russians are now the Nazis. Whoever you don't like is a Russian bot Nazi guy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, because in this war, and I'm going to say this, Ukraine, during World War II, donated a lot of supplies and a lot of people. So did Belarus. So did Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, because they looked at the Germans and their allies as liberators. They did.
There
You
was a
could
couple.
talk to some of these people.
There was a couple of dozen Ukrainian volunteer divisions that fought on the Eastern
There
Front.
were.
There was over like 1 million Ukrainians that fought for them.
They tried to fight and get rid of the Soviets. The Russians were not bad people. The Russians were overtaken by a parasite. Literally, it was a zombie parasite called communism. And people can sit there and they can romanticize it all day long. I've seen people that I'm friends with wear the Soviet paraphernalia and talk about it like, and they think that they're the good guys because Nazis were bad guys. And even if that were the case, they're still not the good guys. Two evil things can fight. Doesn't make one good and one bad. A red dragon fights a black dragon. Oh, I'm going for the red one. I don't know. We're going to get eaten either way after it's over.
They would have been the first people thrown in the gulags. Those that are flying their flags right now. They literally
Crazy.
would have been the first people put in the gulags.
Because they killed mentally ill people. They threw mentally ill people into the camps, the NKVD.
Every 5 or 6 years that they would purge their entire top of their the top leaders of their thing. Other than the top few, anybody who was underneath and anybody who was in any position of power, they would purge them every few years, and they would send them all to the camps as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what Yuri Bezmenov would talk about with the useful idiots, where they would use them and they would feel that they would come to power, but once they came to power and they were disillusioned, they'd be the first to be lined up against the wall and
Yeah.
shot.
Exactly. Which is why every few years they sent a whole lot of them to the camps before they realized what had happened. Yeah. Yeah, read Gulag Archipelago. Solzhenitsyn told you straight up what they
That's
did.
a great one, dude.
I
That's a good
know.
one.
Like it's
Mhm.
how anybody could read that and then be for communism.
Cannibal
I mean-
Island.
Yeah.
Horrible things that they did. And we're to sit back and look at it like it didn't happen. Like they were good guys
Yeah.
because they fought against Germany. If you look at what happened with Patton, I saw that Trump was comparing himself to Patton and MacArthur. It's like, really, dude? You post that on your... What is wrong with this guy? A rich
Yeah,
man's
we saw
son
that,
never worked
didn't
a
we?
day in his life other
Yeah.
than to sit behind a desk. Thing is,
Mhm.
Patton had a change of heart. Once he saw the truth, he said, we screwed up. And he started saying he had to get back to Washington as soon as possible. Patton still was disillusioned, though. He was wrong. He believed that there was some common sense there and that Eisenhower and that everybody would believe him and listen to him and he would be treated as the war hero that he was and that he would be able to talk reason to them and tell them these shitbirds have taken over. We screwed up.
Mhm.
We need to rearm the Germans and go in and finish the war against the Soviets. He thought that they would get this and go, oh yeah, you're right. This is a worse evil.
Mhm.
And then what happened? Oh, he died in a wreck. Yeah. Kind of like, these people, they just keep dropping dead. It just keeps happening. And then everybody's just kind of like, oh, well, lulled to sleep. If people had as much fervor for all of this as they do for Black Friday, can you imagine what we could do? We're out there and beat each other over the head for
Get me
Cabbage
started.
Patch Dolls TVs. But yet, nobody has spoken out about E Island, hardly at all. Like there's no global outcry. Nobody's rioting in the streets. They'll go out and burn down and riot in the streets if a criminal gets choked by a cop or something happens. It's crazy, dude. What they'll do, and they'll riot, they'll burn things down because we don't have a patriarch on our side like George Soros. Somebody asked me that. My own cousin, he asked me the other day. He says, why is that? I said, well, because those people, that's their spear tip. The pseudo-communists are their spear tip. And they
Yeah.
bloody it all the time. There are two wars going on right now. One is for Fox and the other one is for CNN. One is for the left and the other one is for the right. Now, which war is your cup of tea? If you're the right-wing person, then your cup of tea, you're rooting for Israel. You're putting on your 6-pointed star underwear. You're waving the flag. You've changed the hat from the MAGA to the MIGA. Like I said before, these MIGAs be crazy. That Make Israel Great Again. That's what you're doing. The Make Israel Great Again project. Call it the MIGAP. The MIGAP. You're the Make Israel Great Again project. You're all for that. Destroy Iran. Destroy Iran. What about the Ukraine, Russia? No. Israel and Iran. That's my game. I don't do that. I don't even look at that. I don't even. Ukraine is evil. They're bad. They're bad. They're wrong. They're badong. So you get that. Then you get that. Beer swilling Joe Sixpack, right? You get it. You get that the Ukraine is full of shit, right? But for whatever reason, you tell the left, you're like, well, Ukraine is not good. They're not the good guys in this, and Russia's trying to do it. No, sassy pants. We ain't doing that. What do you think about Israel? Oh, they're bad. They're definitely bad. And Iran is good guys. We love Iran. We love the mullahs, hullas, all of the Allahs every time of the day. I go to Baskin Robbins, 32 flavors. I say, you have 33. One is Iranian. The blue hair, the septum. Yeah, you get it. So you understand that's right. That's what you think, right? You're the weirdo that thinks all that weird, whatever. Put them on opposite, and then they flip out. They're like, CNN, can't help me, CNN. And the other side is like, help me, Jimmy, help me, Fox News, help me. What is going on here? I don't understand. Because one war is for you, and the other war is for you. Which war do you support? Because one is Israel North, and one is Israel South. Right? One is their true homeland, Khazaria, King Bulan, and the other one is Saul, right? King Saul. What about David? No, he didn't have a star. He had a palm tree or an olive tree, something like that. He didn't have a star. But you know who did have a star? Remphan. Oh, yes. Remphan.
Yeah, Cheyenne.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now you have, this is a funny number. I read this the other day. They said that 6 million, they plan to put at least 6 million people from Israel into southern Ukraine. They are now filling it up. They've reached almost 2 million because all of the Ukrainians are being ethnically cleansed, right? But that's the left going, because the Russians are doing it and they're the poo-poo caca heads and they're committing genocide, right? But it's okay for Iran to rain missiles on Israel if you're on the left. But if you're on the right, that is Satan talk. That is good old-fashioned devil talk. So what is wrong with these people's brains? If you look at the brain of the average right-tard and libtard, you will see that they have been lobotomized. Part on the right, the left side of the brain has been removed. The right side of the brain, I mean. They have no creativity. They're just very analytical, cold. Then you go and you look at the libtard, and you take, what happened to your brain? They don't have any analytics. It's all creative and just a bunch of colors all smushed together. Do you see? It's a very polarizing thing. You talk to these people, and they don't even look at you like a human. They think of you as like some sort of colored object that's some kind of, yeah, man. And the other side is the polar opposite. You cannot be more separate. This is a recipe for disaster, but this is how you control people. This is how you control the masses. This is the politics. Politics has become the 49ers versus the Cowboys. Do you want to know?
I was just going to say it's another football game.
Like a football game. I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up, right? I got to say this. Somebody asked me this back in the 90s, and my dad reminded me of this. He's like, you always thought outside the box. He told me this. And this is your dad. So dad's going to be like, you're a great kid. Yeah, so what? You did some bad things. You're still a good kid, right? Your dad's always going to cut for you. But my dad could be harsh at times, a very, very vicious critic at times. He told me one time, he says, you always thought outside the box. He goes, you know what made the 49ers and Cowboys rivalry great? Not to mention it was California versus Texas. It was the left versus, it was kind of like, it was all the opposites. But the Cowboys were blue and silver. The 49ers are red and gold. Do you see the contrast there? It couldn't have been more perfect. You had two teams whose colors were opposite. The politics were opposite. San Francisco, one of the most liberalist cities on earth. Dallas, one of the most conservative cities on earth. And they're going toe to toe. Texas versus California. You look at that and you see blue and silver versus red and gold. And then you're going like, this is the height of rivalry. You see that? The silver and gold. Such a contrast. Blue and red. See? Contrast. It's right here. See? Cobra. That proves that he's an evil guy. He's a bad guy. Don't listen to him. Point is, this is the system in itself. You see it for what it is. It lays it out there for you. Now go root. You have the red, which is, oh yeah, we're red now. We're the right wingers. We're the blue are the left. But here's the weird thing about that and how they trip you up, because colors, and if you're a synesthete, you'll know, you understand. It's weird. Blue is actually on the flag, the Israel flag. Blue is on the Ukrainian flag. Red connotates communism. Red Army, Russia, red, right? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Isn't that kind of strange to you? Don't you think that the colors were kind of integrated for a reason? Creates confusion. And then because they have to tell you what they're doing when they do it. So they're telling you straight up, you're this color, you're that color. Pick a side.
Only two sides, too, buddy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One side or the other. That's it. Well, it's the way to control the whole of something is to control both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
divide-
play the parties out, and one is played out, you bring in the other one. And you continue this game.
Remember what I keep saying, though? Red Lodge, Blue Lodge, Freemasonry, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid. It's dumb.
I was just about to mention that when he was pointing out the red and the blue on his shirt.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it reminded me of.
It's exactly
Well-
what it is.
Yep.
I picked my colors accordingly today. So I got the silver bracelet, the gold necklace. Who are
They
you
all do
rooting
their-
for?
Yeah. They all do their little gay shit. Sorry, they all do their dumb stuff in the background at in their secret little parties that they all go to together.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the liberals and conservatives here, they're all flying on the same plane, and it's like, oh yeah, okay,
Well, Mitch
Okay.
McConnell is friends with Nancy Pelosi.
yeah,
They would drink together.
yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, that was the thing. I mean, you'd see them at the hotel getting drunk after they just fought viciously on the floor.
Yeah.
Nobody
Political
cares about
theater.
it all. It's all pomp and ceremony.
Political theater.
Exactly.
Watch the parliament in Canada for 5 minutes, and you'll be like, this is the stupidest crap I've ever seen in my life. Like, how is a country run like this? And it's not. It's just political theater. It's dumb. It's all dumb.
Isn't a group of monkeys
Manage
called
the
a Congress?
masses.
Isn't that what it is?
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so. Look it up, Anthony. You can look it up.
Yeah,
It's called a
You gotta
Congress.
be kidding me. I thought it was
No,
called
really.
a troop.
No, I think it's called a Congress. I can look it up. I can't see real good today. My eyes are burning like hell.
Yeah, why is that not surprising?
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, the blue light from these screens is destroying all of our eyes.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. But the smoke here
That's
doesn't
true.
help. It's still going
Yeah, it says here a
strong.
group of monkeys or baboons is not officially called a Congress, but it is used. Yeah, the word is used. The idea that a group is called a Congress is an old joke and a piece of internet trivia, but it is widely used.
Is it from those Canadian wildfires on it?
No, that probably doesn't help because you guys have a bunch burning there, don't you?
You mean all of the ones that started in a straight line in the same hour on the same day?
Probably.
That is not suspicious at all.
Those are the
I
ones-
think you're a
those are the
dangerous
ones.
conspiracy
At
theorist,
least.
Mr. Richard.
I know.
So we
Except
had a
for the
guy
lack
that came on our
of
show
blue
on
umbrellas
Rumble.
and blue roofs.
We had a guy come on our show on the Real Random Files on Rumble, and he was he was all about Fauci.
I liked him.
Well, you liked him for certain reasons. I mean, he gave us a lot of comic relief. I mean, it was fun talking to that guy. That guy was so stupid. It was low hanging fruit, though. Let's be honest. That's the easy one to see. The easy one to see. It's easy to point out and go, look at this Muslim extremist. Look at this communist. Those are the easy ones. But you got to look at is who are responsible for bringing all of these migrants into Europe.
Canada.
Who's responsible for bringing it to Canada, Australia, the United
US.
States? Yeah.
I
But
know.
then you start looking at these politicians and who is behind them. Who pays it? Who pays the toll for that? Who does it? And there's so many of these people on the right that can't figure it out. They're just like, I don't see it. And some of them are my friends. God bless them. I want to slap them with a washcloth upside their head. Just slap them with not hurt them. Just want to hurt them, but not hurt them. You know what I mean?
Cause pain, but not injury.
Cause pain, but not injury.
Yeah, just make it sting for a few minutes.
Yeah, you're not injured. You're just hurt.
Yeah.
Wakes you up. Makes you, when I played football when I was younger, of course, this was the old days, and my coach would just run up to me and grab me by my helmet, yank me around.
Oh yeah.
My coach would hit me in the chest. One of them, my defensive coach, he was always in my face. He was a former Marine, so that didn't help. It's just like up in my face. And I had just perennial smart mouth. And he's like, he's just sitting there breathing down my neck, looking at me. I'm like, I remember being a sophomore, and he was like, what are you thinking right now? I'm thinking, your breath smells, coach. Jeez. Boy. And he would tell me, go run them gases. Just get mad. He was a black dude. He was always angry. And he was so divisive. He would sick me on the black players and then run up in their face and be like, look what that white boy did to you. And I'd be like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Then one day he told me he's like in there eating a sandwich. He always had mayonnaise and all. He's just a mess. He said, let me tell you something, boy. He's like, you know why I do that? He's like, because 80% of this team out there is black. And you're one of those white boys that can play. You can play. You're like a black dude. It's like, nowadays you say something like, that's horribly racist. It's like, back then it was just like, whatever. This is the early 90s. It's like, oh, okay. I'm a kid. I don't know. This coach he's telling me, he's like, let me tell you something. He's like, when you hurt them, their pride needs to be hurt. They need to wake up and they need to be angry. I got to get something to motivate them. They got to be angry. And okay, it did. It lit a fire under them, to be like, don't let this white guy show you up, like whatever. And all those guys to this day, not one of them is not my friend. I had fist fights with 3 of those guys. Bad, like just fighting, and they're all my friends now. There's not one of them that we're not friends that I don't still communicate with. The ones that are still alive. A couple of them are passed over. One of them had diabetes really bad, but we're still friends to this day. It's to this day. One of them's my friend Theo. I've talked about him on PRT. Theo lives out in the middle of the sticks. Hates politics. But then when we talk about politics, he could not be more on the right. He could not be more conservative. He's like, I hate politics. But he's so on that Trump train, dude. Like, he is just so on that Trump train. And when I got off of it, he was like, I can't believe you did that. Why would you abandon Trump? I said, dude, I didn't abandon him. He abandoned us. And so I have friends that I've been friends with for life. Black, white, Hispanic. I'm not a racist. And I don't go around like, I don't give a shit if people call me that. I don't care. I'm not one of those, I'm not racist. Let me prove it to you. I don't need to prove to you shit. I don't care. Well, you don't know me. You don't know me. Believe it or don't believe it. But there are so many people now that are being brought into this politics that it is not even a black, white, whatever. It is so galvanizing that it is tearing families apart at this point.
Yeah, it has been for a long time, man.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, it really does. It is. I mean, yeah. Especially when you send your kids to these little indoctrination camps and they come back a completely different person.
You have people now that are, you would never ever guess, like you would, and you would not even suspect that they would be on the left or the right or whatever. And when you talk to them, you think they have common sense. And then when you listen to their views and their beliefs, and you're going like, what in the hell?
Yeah,
What
welcome
happened to
to
this
Canada.
person?
Welcome to Canada.
Ran out and got the JAB as quick as they could in every single booster.
And then virtue signaled their way through it and then alienated anybody, demonized everybody that didn't want to do that. Absolutely became tribalistic, insane people about it. And still to this day, their pride will not let them admit that they were wrong.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They don't see what's happening. They don't see all the stuff that's gone on around them. Oh, why did this person I know died of cancer this week, and that person had a heart attack and a stroke last month, and blah 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 blah. So all I heard the whole week I was away is like where my uncle lives is where my mom's from. It was just like this guy had a stroke, and this guy had a stroke, and this person had cancer, and I'm just like, you don't freaking see it, do you? Like, you guys don't see it at all. Like, I had to bite my freaking tongue not to scream half the time. This happened to me, and it's just like, dude.
Perfectly healthy 24-year-old athlete just drops dead of a heart attack. Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
And over again.
They
Yeah.
died of suddenly.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's still happening to this very moment.
So where you're at, Anna, is pretty conservative, right? You're in the Utah.
Oh, and yeah,
Okay.
it's very conservative. As a matter of fact, there's a full state saloon. It's about 2 miles away from me, and the owner is running for governor of Idaho.
You got to speak
And
up.
they
I
were
can
running
barely hear you.
promotions. Oh, sorry. They were running promotions where he was offering like free beer if people turned in people that were here,
Free
illegally.
beer.
And
So
yeah, free beers for people that turned in people that were not here of legal means. And they had like real red pill nights and stuff. Yeah, it's a very conservative
Red
state.
pill.
So and also we're the first state to make capital punishment death by firing squad.
that's hardcore.
Why not?
That
I
just
mean,
happened.
there is no humane death. I mean, really.
Yeah. I actually think it's a lot more humane, to be honest, because I
It
think
is.
it's like 7 to 10% or something of lethal injections go horribly wrong, and it's an excruciating way to die when it goes wrong. So I
Yep.
know people think like, oh, that's the most humane way to go. You just go, no, it's not a good way to go when like 10% of them don't go well. So they said, when it's firing squad, it's like 10 seconds of pain and then it's lights out. So I actually think it's better for everybody, personally.
Or just don't do
I'm-
whatever the hell it is.
It'll get you
Yeah.
executed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if you look at the saints, you look at the apostles, you look at everybody who followed Christ, it seems to be that, and I had people actually argue this with me, and they said, well, that hasn't happened in the modern era. I'm like, I couldn't believe somebody said that to me. And I should have kept my mouth shut, but I had to. I said, look at Soviet Russia. And these were younger people in their late 20s, early 30s, and they were like, huh? Like they had no clue what I was talking about. And I said, the Soviet Union. And of course, their knee-jerk answer was, you mean the Nazis? I'm like, no, dude, the Nazis didn't kill Christians. That's a true thing. They didn't. They did imprison Jehovah's Witnesses.
But not just that, they were putting those cages, the Christian women, and burning them alive in the Middle East not that long ago. That was making mainstream news. I mean, they're still killing Christians in horrible ways to this day.
Africa.
In Nigeria, I was just going to say Nigeria. Look what's happened there.
The Fulani,
is that
dude, they're
what it was?
horrible.
Oh, yeah.
If we should do a show about the Fulani, the origins of slavery. We're going to do that one. How about that? We'll do that on Rumble, not the next one, but the one after. I can tell you the history of it from just memory. The Fulani, the Muslims from Nigeria, the Fulani were the main. They were the main. What do you call it? The people that sold. They captured tribal people and then they sold them to the Saharan Africans, who were predominantly Berber, and Arab. and they sold them to the Sephardics, you know, and
Yeah.
they brought them over here.
Nobody talks about the Kingdom of Congo and all the nonsense they got up to either, do they?
The Belgians.
Yeah.
Yeah. King Leopold, wasn't it?
Well, no, the Congo were the actual the Mani Congo were the black slave traders, the guys who actually went out and caught them all by the tens
Really?
of thousands of millions and millions. Oh
I
yeah,
did
yeah. If
not
you look
know
into
about
their,
that. I know about the Fulani because they're in every single country.
yeah, they
I
were
didn't know about
West,
the Congolese. The Congolese had their own slave trade, but I didn't know that it was.
not
I thought that
Congo.
it was.
It's Congo, Kongo. I don't think
Okay,
their
all right. So I
kingdoms
didn't
were
know about
anymore.
that because in the
Yeah.
Congo, I know that they used them. They just worked them to death.
Mhm.
The Belgians did, but that was they were being brought to them by the Fulanis.
Yeah,
The
look at the
Fulanis
Bible.
were Islamic, and they are everywhere. They are all over Africa, like all over the place. They're even now in South Africa. They're trying to get rid of these immigrants in South Africa. It was too little, too late, because the policies of the British brought them there.
Yeah.
Because they had fought the Zulu and the Afrikaners, which were Dutch, and it's a big mess. But they're now being run by, horribly run, I might add, by former immigrants.
Kiss the Boer.
The Boer, yeah.
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 So
Have
the
you
song
seen
they
the
sang.
have you seen the foot I was just gonna say, have you seen the footage? I have a good friend that lives in South Africa, and have you seen the footage of all of them in the stadium and they're jumping up and down and singing that song about killing the
Kill the
Boer? And
Boer.
oh, it's
That's
horrible.
that. If they
Yeah.
tried to say it was "kiss the Boer," yeah, that's what they try and tell all
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
main
no,
the
lie.
Western people.
It's such
That's the
BS.
joke I was making. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny. Do you see the uniforms they wear? Red berets
I'm
and
Mhm.
fly red
oh yeah,
flags
yeah.
and yeah. Interesting,
Oh
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Well, and then I will give it to Trump on this. He ambushed. That was pretty funny. He kind of ambushed the leader when he had him in what was it, the did he have him in the Oval Office? Well, he was having
Take
a
it out.
meeting with him, and he had him roll in the TV and play of them doing that. And he's like, "So what are they saying on this? Do you guys remember that?" And he just confronted him about it.
Absolutely.
You know what
Absolutely.
I'm talking about? Yeah, that
Yep.
was great. Yeah, I give him full credit on that one. I was like, yeah, that's great. I appreciated that for sure.
Yeah, he looked like he had egg on his face that time, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked like he'd
Sorry about
swallowed a
that. I had something
boulder. He
going
was
on.
like, he did not know what the hell to say. He was
Yeah,
not. He
and
did
are
not
you
see
guys
that
talking about the
coming.
footage? Are you talking about the camera
Yeah,
footage?
when
Trump showed him that.
Trump totally blindsided him with that. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, when you look at the slave trade, though, I would say 70% of it, put a number on it, that went into all of these, like the Barbary Coast and all these different
I was
places, the
just going to
jumping on
mention the
points,
pirates.
the pirate. Yeah, it all came from the Fulanis, Nigerians. If any African country you go to, I'm not even joking. If you go to any African country, I have a lot of friends that have lived there, from there. Different types of people are African. Not everybody from Africa is black. People get the misconception, but there are a lot of people that I know who have lived in Africa. They're from Africa. My friend Bram, my friend Angus, they were Afrikaners. I have a ton of friends that were from the Ivory Coast. They're Lebanese. A lot of friends from the North African countries, and then several of my friends. One of them I work out with regularly. He's Nigerian. He's a Christian Nigerian. And you can talk to these people, and they'll tell you the Fulanis are everywhere. They are in everybody's country. There was a bunch of them in South Africa, in Pretoria. I was there years ago. I was like, what are they doing here? And they stride around like paramilitary. Well, they are. They're basically paramilitary, and they just kidnap people. I mean, I'm not even joking. And that stuff would never have happened when the British were in control. Now then it was allowed to go on under the ANC, and then they eventually, now they're having problems. And I'm like, yeah, keep letting the snake eat the eggs. Do you think that when there's not enough eggs, it's just going to take them anyway? You can't control those kind of people. They're slavers through and through. The worst, in my opinion, the two worst groups of slavers that ever existed, like as a people, were the Fulanis and probably the Ottomans. I would say that the go-between guys were the Sephardics and the Ashkenazi. But yeah, those were the biggest slavers. The Ashkenazi were predominantly responsible for bringing them to the southern states in the New World. The Sephardics were almost exclusively for Spain and Portugal holdings, the Spanish and Portuguese holdings. A little bit in the New Orleans port. There were some Sephardics. I looked at the names, and these are Sephardic Jewish people. But they will never cop to that. Oh, yeah, Muslims did it. Yeah, they did it. But they don't ever accept their responsibility for doing it. Nope. Those were Dutch slave trading ships. A lot of them were Ashkenazi. The names like Rosenblatt, and you look at you can tell like who they were. But we're not supposed to say anything. We're supposed to sit here and not talk about how the Christians have been mistreated and if you do, then you'll end up on some list where, he's a right-wing extremist. Or I'm not an extremist. I'm a very centralist, if you let me be. The only time you become, further, is when you force people to defend themselves because you don't want to stop bullshitting with people. And I can tell you this, I have friends who I have a friend, his last name is Rosenblatt, but he's Christian now, and he traced his roots and he found out that he was Jewish whatever. That happens all the time. People find out that they were Ashkenazi or Sephardic, whatever, but he's a Christian now. His family's a Christian. In fact, he preaches. So once you become a Christian, you are part of what you're grafted in. We're all together. But that seems to be a big problem for them, because if it wasn't, then why does Islam and Judaism and communism all target us to destroy us? It's a triumvirate. It's the trident trying to break the cross, trying to destroy us. It's the truth. It is the three-headed dragon. It's Ghidorah. That's what it is. And what do? They target Christians like crazy. That's why when I was at the grocery store, I was wearing my Jesus is the Answer shirt. I got these two people, they were like, I didn't know what they were mad about. I forgot I had it on. My wife's like, we're going to the grocery store. I don't make decisions like this. That is a lot to take on. I don't know what we're going to eat and stuff like that. I just go do what I'm told when it comes to that.
You're a good husband.
I don't, because that's not my job. My job is not. She's like, honey, when you go to the grocery store, we gotta get this. Blah, blah, blah. I wanted to. Okay. Oh, you don't want to go? I would love to go. I'm thrilled. Let's go to the grocery store. Shit, I gotta put on pants and find a shirt. Sucks. So I go and I'm smelling shirts. I like that one. Let's try that. No, I'm joking. I don't do that. I'm not a teenager. I stopped doing that months ago. Look, I clean my clothes now. I'm a big boy. Now I find a shirt, and it's laying there, and I just grabbed it. I wasn't trying to make a statement. Let me walk around Austin going, hey guys, what's up? You got blue hair? What's up? Because that's an affront to them. It's an affront to them. They walk by you, they're like, that's a slight exaggeration. I'm walking through the grocery store. It's called HEB. We have the HEBs here. I love that grocery store. We go through it, and I'm just like, whatever. Maybe they were looking at me weird because I was looking at the Legos. I don't know. Okay. My wife was shopping, doing whatever it is. She's responsible. I'm like looking at this Lego set going like, what can I do with this? And these people are over there, and they're like, and I don't know what they're scowling at. I look around. There's no kids around. So I'm like, what am I creeping out your kid? I'm just looking at the Legos, man. I can't afford to buy them. They're too expensive. So I just put it back. And I'm like, these people are looking at me crazy. And then I walk, and there's my wife. Hey, I got what we needed. Okay, cool. So I walk up to her. I'm standing there, and this woman comes up to me. She grabs my arm, and she goes, I want to tell you, thank you for wearing that shirt. I swear this is absolute truth. And Anthony was walking up with whatever responsible stuff he was doing. I don't know. I don't buy the groceries. They do. And I said, okay. And my wife's like, I'm like, oh. I was like, I didn't even realize I was wearing this shirt. You know, it says Jesus is the answer. He is. And thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, Christ, for everything. But I was not wearing it to make a statement. I didn't even realize it. And she was just like, there are some people, she's like, who need to learn manners. And those two people, they were right behind us. I turned around. She was looking right at them like, and she looked like the mom from Leave It to Beaver. She's like, God bless you. And I said, God bless you. And I turned around, and this guy has his beard in a way I would never wear it. And he's like this, look, he's got the little thing like that. And his hair, he's got the thing where his hair is sticking up like a snork. You know, where it's pulled back and kind of flowing down the sides of his head. It's flowing. And his wife, she's got the bull ring, and she's like, you know, she looks like that. I turned around, I looked at him, and I was like, look at this gay dude. And I looked at her, and I was like, oh, whoa. Orc. She's like, man flesh. You know, she was one of those. She had his balls in her purse. It was right there. And they were looking at my shirt, and they were like, I mean, dude, I'm not even joking, dude. I could feel the hate, the anger, the whatever, disgust coming off of these people because I'm standing there wearing this shirt. And on the side of my shirt, because it's a Hodge Twins shirt, is the American flag. And she even did this. Like to make sure that she was driving the point home that she didn't like my shirt.
Good.
And I even made a joke at it. My wife reached for a book, and I said, no, honey. No. That book is not Christian enough. It's about ghosts. Put it back. Ghosts of Austin. Those ghosts were probably they probably weren't all white. These people behind me were like, oh. They were talking like the guy from Primal. You ever seen that show? It's a cartoon. Tartakovsky. He's actually pretty good. There's no words. It's just a caveman and a dinosaur running around killing stuff. It's a funny cartoon, right? But I said something funny. My wife's just kind of like, what? I said, oh, no. Let me look through it. Let me see. Oh, most of these ghosts were white. We'll buy it. Go ahead, get it. You can have that. That's cool. You can have that. I'm allowing you as the man to have that book. You're welcome. She's like, what? I'm like, just play along. Honey, you bought eggs? I told you need to go out and harvest them. That's why we got chickens, you dumbass.
Yeah, you bought the wrong colored eggs, dear.
This woman behind me was like rocking back and forth. She was like, about to end up in a facility somewhere, maybe from homicide. I don't know.
She's manifesting demonically, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's how you deal with those people. They're so sickening. But this is the funny thing is that they're both white, but I promise you they don't have black friends. I promise you. They're like, and if they do, they'll tell you about it. I was hanging out with all of my black friend. It was a good time. We were in a non-threatening public place, and we had a falafel. What's his name? Shamani Kubert. I forget the name. Is Sharman, something like that. I forget. I don't go by names. I call him Home Dog. That's his name. That's what we're affectionately calling each other that. And I'm looking at them going, I think you're full of shit. Well, don't let them get you. This is the people, but then they're going to judge you because they think, and then you interview them. You're like, yes, Tom Jackman here. Let me ask this. Excuse me, woman with blue hair. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about white people? White people are horrible. They all should die. They should all burn in a volcano. Whoa, shoot, aren't you white? Hell no. I'm 99% Native American, but you're blonde hair and blue-eyed. Yes, and I am Cherokee. There you have it. There you have it, Alice. Another Cherokee. That makes 3,842,000 Cherokee here in this country. Who would have thought? I never would have guessed. Anthony, have you seen the modern Cherokee? You know, they used to kind of look like you, but now they look more like Anna.
Yeah, they're all blonde hair, blue eyed.
They're all blonde hair and blue eyed.
Yeah, and then if you ask them like, oh, if you're are you look white? Are you white? No, I'm Cherokee. Well, I'm just asking because you're blonde hair, blue eyed, and you got this kind of round German. I said I'm Cherokee. I'm Cherokee because they're ashamed of being.
They're ashamed, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this thing years ago, the escape room. I don't know if you've ever done that. And it was me, Anthony, and Tony, right? And Zane. Now, Zane is my brother's son. He's black, right? Anthony, you see him. He's very brown. Tony, obviously, he's another brown person. So I was the only bad one, the only bad guy. We're in this group of like very, very, very liberal people. And they're like, we all got to work together. There's 3 women and a younger girl. We found out that the women were all married to each other. And my nephew, who's probably the worst one of us all when it comes to just blurting out what you think, and he's the black one, right? And they're like, he tells them that he's half black, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. And then they got Anthony's story, and he's like, yeah, I'm Hispanic. And Tony's like, I'm Asian. They look at me, and they're like, I'm like, I'm half Hispanic. My mother's native. Oh, okay. So you have some redeeming quality about you, right? But then as the night grew on, we were all just, I'm not going to get into what was said or what wasn't said. It's not important. Can't talk about it here anyway. These people were trying to escape for real. Like it was Anthony, it was his birthday. It was the best birthday ever, right, Anthony?
Of course.
And Anthony, and we had all been imbibing, right? And there was only one of them who was kind of normal. She was laughing at our jokes nervously. The other 2 were just like, dude, no. That's their belly. They were resting their arms on their belly. And you're just like, it was so fun. Just talking freely, the truth, talking about Christ and God, stuff that's good, how immigration is not good for us. Well, we wouldn't be here without immigration. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm not an immigrant. My parents weren't immigrants. My grandparents weren't immigrants. Like 5, 6 generations back, dude. And then they were telling Tony's like, yeah, my mother's immigrant. He's like, but she's also half white. What? How does that work? And Tony goes, well, a white man has sex with and then they have a kid. What are you talking about? And I'm like, do you need us to explain to you? I mean, don't you go to Planned Parenthood and they don't teach you these things? Oh my gosh. I'm stunned. Whatever. And Tony's like, yeah, my mother because of Vietnam. And then one of them goes, oh, she must have been a product of grape. You know what the word is, right? And he's like, what? No. He's like, my dad was a soldier and he got with her mother. Yeah, he was a soldier, but he was, And then it turns out that his grandpa actually on that side was white and Hispanic, like me. He was a me and had, whatever relations. And then they had, his mother. And these women were so vile. They wanted to turn everything into some sort of like racial trope, something that the male patriarchy, in particular the white male patriarchy, had done to make this the way it was. Scorpion was there too, but him and Zane say things that just really get under people's skin. But it was an awkward night turned into a fun time. Now they had a horrible time, and I'm sure they took to Twitter to just, And it was years ago. It was back when Trump was running, I think, and we were talking about it, and it was just horrible for them. But we had a good time. We had a great time. But this is Austin, though, and this was I believe it was at the Domain, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah,
I think it was at the Domain. So. Yeah. So we had a great time, and that is the kind of stuff that you deal with in Austin. So if you go around wearing a Jesus is Lord shirt, Jesus is the answer, whatever, you're going to have, Ferdinand the Bull behind you with her cuckold husband. It's going to happen. And he's over there like, doing this weird thing. I don't know how to do it. They do it with they do the weird little like limp. Yeah. He's taller than me. He's like 6'5", and he's just big built guy. And he's just like, like, how do you do that? Like when he does deadlifts, he throws them. So much weight. This is so hard. Just sweat. Is it like, how do you, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, dude? Why are you with that? The question too, why is she with him? They obviously don't, that's not their thing. Why are they even a couple? What are they doing? I would say it would be for tax purposes or something. I don't know. But now you can marry your own whatever. So why are y'all, what is this? Oh, it's Austin. So you got to be weird. And you got to make it really weird.
Yeah, they're in the same witch's coven, bro.
Probably.
Yeah.
He lays on the altar and they eat fruit off of him or whatever. We had a guy that we did a show on PRT, and he had literally been taken hostage by a coven. Remember that guy?
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible what happened to that guy.
Yeah, that episode was crazy.
But he's not a big, strong guy. You know, he was a diminutive little dude. But even that, though, he was able to overcome him with something we call testosterone. So when they came for him, even after he hadn't eaten and drank in 3 days, he was still able to fight them off. Because even with that low energy, whatever, not the most manly guy around, he was still able to fight off the witches with, you know, some chicken bones and shit or something. You know, I don't remember the whole thing. But the guy was like, dude, I got away from him. And there was one guy that was there that was like, no, man, no. Like, I'm scared. Like, because they grew up watching shows where women like Kate Beckinsale were beating up werewolves. Yeah, right, lady. She's like, I'm a death dealer. Get the, what? And you're going to beat up Dogman or werewolf, whatever. Here comes one now. I said, poo, poo, poo. Yes. Die, pooch. Yeah, get out of here. Let's live in reality for a minute. It doesn't happen.
Just gets her head bit off.
The guy's over there crouched down in a chicken coop. Run for your life. I'm staying here. These women are brutal. I don't have any testosterone to protect myself. Like, you deserve to stay in a chicken coop, dude, or whatever it was he was in. You deserve to be there. You stay there. Be their slave. You must enjoy it. You must have a good time with them. Because that is the problem. Right? How many of our men are like this now?
You pointed
with
at
other
me?
Canadians.
You pointed at me, baby? Is that what you were pointing at?
He's not a very big arm. You need to get in there and hit the weights.
Bro, are you kidding me?
What are you doing? Oh, yeah, that one's a little better. Are you one of those people that's formed on one side, not the other? Do the left one.
I just work out on one side, yes.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Come on, just do it.
He does calisthenics with one arm.
You know what you
exactly.
need to do? Shrugs, bro. Get that.
Shrugs? I do have big shoulders. What are you talking about? These things are freaking...
Your
I look
shoulders aren't
like a
big,
tiger
bro.
with my shirt off, dude. I'm
I
so
don't think
freaking
so. What
ripped.
about your traps? You need to hit your traps there.
He's just angling to take his shirt off. That's all he's doing.
Go like this. Look, let's see your trap. See, this is all trap. That's how you could tell somebody's got that strength. There you go. Ah, there you go.
Right? Not
Yeah,
bad.
That's all right. It's okay. What do you think, Anna?
Dogman ain't got nothing on him.
She would be the one to decide
right,
how
girl.
big the muscles are. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Edna Wilson says,
I got a
Wolf,
few
you had me over here
bodybuilders in my
rolling on the floor. That was the goal, Edna. I came out today and I said, we're going to get Edna to roll on the floor. I told Anthony, didn't I? I said, if we don't get Edna to roll on the floor and say it, we failed at our jobs today.
Yes. And
look at Richard. Boy, Richard got mad. He was like, what? He's going to be doing shrugs for hours after the show. He's going to be up there like 5-gallon jugs.
Oh, I'm telling you, all kettlebells, dude. Kettlebells are the best for your shoulders.
I'm not going to say it. I don't agree with that.
You don't like kettlebells?
No, yeah, I have some. But I don't think that those are the best for your shoulders. Once you get your ass down
Kettlebells and
here,
dips.
I'm going
I
to
do a
put
lot
you
of
through the
dips.
pace. I'm going to have you work out with me. And if you die, you die.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
There's been some dudes that are like, oh, I can handle anything. I'm Ragnar the Redbeard. Okay, yeah, sure.
if you live through it, you're a warlock. If you die, you're innocent.
That's right.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
We'll see what you got.
Right?
Right? We'll see what you got. So, in conclusion to this, Anna, I want to let you close it out here. What do you, because you were trying to talk earlier, but your sound was so crappy and so horrible. You were messing up the show so bad.
I know.
But we're going to let,
I know. I always do. I always do.
but you have something to
I
say.
guess.
Go ahead.
What can I
us
say?
What do you think about the state of affairs that we're in now with the men?
Oh, I think it's horrible. I was watching a video just last night, and the title of it was like, "Please don't ever let a love like this find me." And it was a compilation video of all these women that were doing the traditionally masculine roles in relationships. And it was like women hauling all the luggage while their guy was on the phone walking ahead of them, or it was the woman like rowing the boat, she was filming them from the shore, or just all this different stuff. And it was like, where the hell has all the testosterone gone? It's just,
Richard's got it all.
I was just going to say right here, Anna.
Yeah, he's out of the atmosphere. But I mean, it's a scientifically proven testosterone rates in young days are what they're like grandpa levels, basically, if even that. And sperm counts are in the toilet, and I think it's an assault on all fronts. It's an accidental byproduct of all the microplastics and things like that, but for the most part, I think it's an intentional assault on masculinity, because masculinity is the first line of defense for any society, and so they had to come after masculinity first. But then, of course, they're doing the psychological assault on women to masculinize women. And just as a byproduct of making men more feminine, women have to become more masculine to pick up the slack. And then there's all the psychological warfare, turning the sexes against each other, making us hate each other, and throwing everything on its head.
Andrew Tate of the world.
Yeah, and people forget about the beautiful symbiotic balance between masculine and feminine energy and the way it's supposed to be, and the actual like beauty behind that. Instead of they put this twisted brainworm into people's heads that there's something toxic about that, when really, when it's done in a healthy way, it's like one of the most beautiful things in life. So I think it's very depressing. There's still plenty of masculine men in the world and feminine women, but boy, the numbers are dwindling, and it's pretty depressing. So.
It starts with the children. These people that run everything, they can't help it. They are always meddling with the children. One of the things they do when little boys and little girls, when they're little, they're androgynous, okay? There's not a whole lot of difference between a boy and a girl when they're little, right? But there is one thing that is profound. Little boys are hyperactive. They tend to be hyperactive, right? And so we have gone on this rampage, this war against the hyperactive kids. You can't be hyperactive. You can't, you have ADHD. So they create this.
Drugging them. Yeah,
and then they give them this drug, Ritalin, which is the professional name, but it's actually, what's it called? It starts with an A, Adderall. So they give them Adderall, and they give them, and you know what they do? They bring you in, and then they bring your whole family in, and they're like, what would be best for us is if you and your whole family were on pills. Because you are hyperactive, you need to be on pills. And then your mommy has problems, so she needs to be on pills. And dad's got problems, he needs to be on pills. And you have all these men, and it's uncomfortable, but they have dysfunction. Thank God I don't have that problem, but some men do, and they got to make them take pills so that they can be, or whatever. I don't understand. And then there's all these men saying that they're not attracted to women anymore. They're not necessarily saying that they're gay. They're just saying they're not into women anymore. And you're like, what? The people in my age, that is just weird as hell. Like, I don't understand that. I love my wife. 110%. But if I was not married to my wife, you could guarantee that I would be looking at women and whatever and admiring their beauty. I have not looked at a woman in that way in 9 years. I look at a woman and I'm like, pfft, I just look away. I don't even look at them. I don't even. It's like a visible shield. Like a shield. I don't even. I'm just like I just see a hot girl. They're not hot. They're not hot. I'm just saying. But if I see one that thinks that you could possibly think, I look at Nelly. I'm like, that's it. I just look at Nelly. That's it. That's a truth. That's the truth. We're gonna stop talking about that right now. We're gonna get into that. I can see why men don't do it. I can see that part. I can see that. I understand that part right there. Women are not attractive. Neither are men. They can't do that.
They're just
Not
there.
my wife. That's all I'm gonna say. But
You know,
there are men that aren't married, right? Like they're not married, and they still don't look at women. And you're like, what, dude? What is wrong with you, bro? Like seriously, what is wrong with you?
yeah.
I just lost my drive. Like what?
No,
Did
you
you
just
drink melted plastic?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
you
what
just
you
have-
did?
You literally have like 250 testosterone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have a drive for women. Yeah.
So I did
Yeah.
that test years ago, like about several years ago. My doctor tested me for that, and I don't even know what it was about. Something happened, but it wasn't like I should have had that done. It was just like at a panel, you know. And he said, "We're going to do everything. We're going to check you for everything, whatever, blah blah blah." And I don't remember telling him I needed it because I don't have any problems like that. I'm not just saying it because I'm swear to you, I don't have any problems like that at all. But I remember he calls me. This is my doctor. My wife can tell you this. Anthony can tell you this is a true story. He calls me. He says, your testosterone levels there's something's going on. And I thought, oh shit, dude. I said, I have low T? And my doctor goes, no. He thought I was on steroids, dude. He asked me that. And then he started to tell me what the averages were. And I'm like, what? But that makes sense because we live in Austin. So he's probably used to looking at these guys that I had like the testosterone of a bull shark. He told me, he says, you're almost 40. You shouldn't be taking anything. And I was like, Dr. G, what are you talking about? He says, well, you lift weights all the time. Are you taking? So I was like, I'm not taking shit. I'm just a man.
Yeah.
He's like, holy shit, this is the high. Your testosterone levels are through the roof high. He said it could be contributing to your blood pressure.
Oh, for sure it will.
And he says, are you angry a lot? I said, I'm a conservative Christian in Austin. What do you think?
Who's
He says,
asking?
probably. I'm like, who are you? What have you done to my doctor? He was a God-fearing man. A straight-up Italian OG. Who is this guy? Now, he's an Italian from Pittsburgh. He's a really good guy. And he's like, look, man, I don't know what you're doing, Will, but if you're doing something, don't do it. And I said, I'm not. I said, I swear to you, I'm not. I don't do anything. I mean, I'm just should be like a normal red-blooded American male. Like, what is wrong with these people? So we did another test. It was he said, we'll just check back later. And it was about 6-8 months later. I finally did another one and they were down a little bit. It was back into like a normal range or whatever. But, I don't understand that. Unless, maybe the microplastics, but I'm sure I've been exposed to it. I'm sure Richard's been exposed to it. Anthony's been exposed to it. Y'all two, Anthony, look at you. Anthony and Dick are two very masculine dudes. I mean, people have
We
teased
don't like to
Anthony,
brag,
but he is.
but-
Anthony's 6'4", 200 pounds, and he's a very muscular guy, and he can put on muscle. Dick, you lift weights all the time, and you're a pretty. I've talked to you many times on the phone, and you are a very forceful person. I don't. But so what happened to us? Did we not eat as much plastic? What is going on with that? Like, I don't understand that.
I think it's the regular gym routine, bro.
Is that what it is?
Regular
be.
gym routine and eating right. If you don't consume like all the goy slop, then it has a massive effect on your testosterone levels.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm firmly convinced it's definitely environmental in terms of like processed and ultra processed foods. I mean, like you said, Rich, it's goy slop. It's just
Yeah,
it's
brother.
meant to do that to you.
100%.
There's even like
Yeah.
a documentary about it, about how American processed and like packaged foods, how like people can be broke, but still be like morbidly obese. That shouldn't be possible. But with the food that they buy, that's what it does to you. That you combine that
Yeah.
with exposure to microplastics everywhere, that from which there is no escape at this point, and like exposure to different chemicals, and you get a man turning into a woman.
Yeah. And now to answer Wedge, thank you for pointing that out, because this is something I got to tell you. He says low test patients. I believe that, because if someone's juicing, HDL levels are bad, and my levels were out of whack. He had a reason to think, because my lip, everything was kind of messed up, and I hadn't done anything different. So I don't know. I
It's sort
was
of-
at that time though eating more meat, and I was
That'll do it.
lifting all the time,
Yep.
and I had lost some weight, and so I was just, I was trying to whatever. I think it was in 2019. It was in 2019. And I had lost a ton of weight, and I was lifting all the time, and I was eating like just meat and vegetables. But I was getting real agitated all the time. I was real agitated. Like my neighbors, dude, they just pissed me off, and I just was like, I was just always angry. And I got into a few fights, with people, because they would not out in public, but at the gym. But I was training too. And so some guy would say, like, let's spar, and they'd hit you. Like, dude, like that dude Charlie was the guy that would go around hitting people?
Charlie Zelenoff.
Charlie Zelenoff, another member of the tribe. But he would go around punching people, but there was this guy at the gym that did that to me, and I just tore his ass up. But, and I'm like, dude, why would you do that? I'm sitting there putting on my thing, and you're trying to hit me. Like he was messing with me.
Really?
So I don't really count that as like a fight. Yeah, it was a boxing gym I used to go to. Yeah. But around that time, I got into four like they're telling you to stop, back off, and this dude, they wouldn't. These younger guys wanted to be, and so just took it to them, and so yeah, I did have to kind of evaluate myself and be like, maybe there's something going on here. But I didn't juice. I never have in my life juiced. Never. I mean, I lied about it one time just to fit in, because these guys were like, what are you taking? I'm like, I don't take anything. And they said, you don't juice? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you look like you do, because I was all big and muscular. I was like, well, yeah, I took something. I don't know, some pills or something. I don't know. Because they were all roid heads, and I thought, I just lied to these guys to fit in. And I felt so weird about it. I walked back up. One of his name is Mitch Williams, a good friend of mine. I said, Mitch, I've never taken anything. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't take shit. I don't. And this guy he looked like a horse. He was just a big, massive guy. And they were all into these, powerlifting and bodybuilding. And so I did powerlifting for a while, and I never took anything. I was always natural, but I could lift a ton of weight. And most people, they're going to think you're on something, but I swear to you, I never was. I never did that. My friends could tell you, the ones I was really close to that would lift with me. And I would tell them no. They'd offer me stuff too. Can you imagine if I'd be dead right now? But if I would have, I'd probably have been one of the strongest people on the planet. And it's just, people nowadays, do we need that to be men? Is that where we're at now? People got to go out and take steroids so they can be dudes?
Apparently.
I see.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. This is going to make you sick, Anna and Dick. I'm going to tell you, Anthony, I told you this the other day. We were lifting at our gym, the yellow gym, when we've been going to. And there were it was late at night. It wasn't late. It was about 1 a.m. And there were there were 3 sets of couples in there. 3 sets. And one of them, they were evenly matched. The woman and the man were kind of the same. But on the other 2, I saw the women in there just working. And I told Anthony this. I told Nellie this. And Tony was there too. We saw it. I told Tony, look at these, look at this. The dude's on the phone and they're doing this. They're like this. looking at the phone, and the woman's over there like Olga the Viking. She's rowing the boat to go and take slaves from the coast of Ireland, and they're over there like, oh, that's so funny. I like this Instagram post. It's kittens. You're like, what is wrong with this guy? And then the other one was the dude was doing the same weight as his girl. Little homie was in there, doing pull downs like, she was over there doing the same weight, dude. And I was like, what? Of course, he's wearing a soccer shirt too. I mean, that
explains it.
Yeah.
He had a Mexico soccer shirt on. I'm like,
I think soccer jerseys actually deplete your testosterone too.
Yeah.
As soon as that fabric hits your skin, the human body just recoils and your testosterone goes down.
Exactly.
That's why they flop around when they barely get hit, and they're just flailing on the ground. I mean, it's a soccer jersey. I'm telling you.
See, Richard told me he used to love soccer when he said he was a soccer enthusiast.
I just
Well,
got
I'm glad you
done
got
playing
better,
soccer.
Richard. I'm glad you're all better now. Congratulations.
It looks like you've healed.
Most people can't recover from such a fatal, disgusting disease.
You almost look normal.
But you're all better now.
I just got back from playing soccer. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay, so they must be. You know how like people can just like live for like 40, 50 years with AIDS nowadays? Well, with the treatments and everything, like
That's what it is.
yeah, the science has been so amazing that I mean, Richard, you look amazing for someone who has that disease.
Yeah, you look amazing for somebody on soccer.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
When you
Appreciate
go
it.
into the
I've been getting
soccer ward of the
infusions.
hospital, when you go to the soccer ward of the hospital, you're like, it's so depressing. You're like, Doc, please. You're like the ghost of Christmas, future or whatever. You're like, please,
Give me
show
my
me no more. Show me no more.
Give me my soccer shirt and some prep.
They're just in there with they're like, You can hear the moaning and groaning of agony, grabbing their shins.
Breath.
The grabbing of the shins, the agony of the feet. You're like, please show me no more, Doc. Please take me back to the heart ward. I can't look at this anymore. The cancer ward, anything but this. He's like,
If your heart hurts, just take potassium and taurine. You'll be all right.
You know what he says? You know what the doctor tells me? He says, anyone can get the soccer. Beware. Beware. He tells me that. And then I wake up. I'm like, oh, thank God it was a dream. And then I realize I'm in the soccer ward. I watched 2 of the World Cup games, and I kind of liked them a little bit. Yeah, I had to hide them from Anthony and Tony. They were like, what are you watching? I'm like, Pornhub? Get off my phone. What's it?
Yeah.
Well, at least it's not soccer.
I'm on my grinder app. I mean,
It was Belgium and U.S. It was USA and Belgium. I'm sorry. Anthony takes my phone. He's like,
I'm not watching soccer. I'm on Grinder. What's the difference? It's the same thing.
Anthony threw my phone in the pool. We don't even have a pool. I just said that. That's just,
It's much worse.
yeah,
He threw it in the tub.
I always said my grinder apps so that I know who to stay away from and how close they are to me.
Sure. Yeah, sure. You're like, yeah, I gotta be careful for that guy.
You have to know your enemy.
Know the enemy. Yeah,
Sun Tzu.
Yeah,
Son Susan.
Exactly, right?
Sunny Tzu.
Sunny Susan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that if you get the soccer, folks, just do it. Just take yourself out. Just take yourself. Dude, be a man and get rid of it. Just don't expose others to it.
You have to commit Harry Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a brutal one too. You got to just do it and then cut your. Yeah, it's horrible.
Exactly. But do it properly.
It's a less slow and painful way to go, though, than the
than
alternative
soccer.
of watching soccer.
Precisely. Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're flopping around, and your wife's like, "Let's go to the grocery store," and you're flopping around, faking an injury in the driveway. Where's the card? Where's the card? No, you don't get it. It's over. But anyways, Richard, it's been fun. It's been real. We've had a great time.
Love you guys.
Yeah, Anna, thank you for showing up.
Love you too.
We're gonna do a show now. We have a show planned, right? Don't we? For Rumble. Yeah. So Anna, get your audio.
Yeah, we sure do.
Get it ready.
I know.
You gotta get your audio ready.
Come on, woman.
Exactly.
I know.
See, Bluestone says enough about me. I played soccer too. My sister was being considered by a pro team in Michigan. We loved soccer. Bluestone, that is a woman. Women, there are 4 sports that are made for women, right? Softball. Don't tell me if you're a guy that plays softball, get out of here. Go away. Okay? Go away. Volleyball, and if you're a guy that plays volleyball, once again, go away. Just go away. Tennis, right? Tennis and soccer. Those are the 4 female sports. Now, some would add golf into that, but a lot of crotchety old dudes will get really mad if I say that. My dad too. He used to play golf a lot. He likes golf. And sometimes he'll talk to me about it and I hate it. He doesn't watch his shows. I can just say it. He'll be like, "Yeah, I was watching golf." And I'm like, "God, dude, were you? Were you watching golf?" He'll start telling me about it.
In England, baseball is a girls' sport.
Yeah, it's called softball.
Who cares, dude? It's England.
Only girl. All right, fair enough.
Who cares, dude? It's England, dude.
Fair enough.
Like, that is a girl's place, period. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
They call cookies biscuits there. Are we really going to take these people seriously?
Yeah.
We ruled the world at one time.
All these historians are always these stuffy old Englishmen. And then the Germans, who scared the living shit out of us, finally were defeated by a lot of Allied supplies and the devil and satanic magic. And of course, the RAF helped. And then, of course, the brutality of the Soviet Union. We won the war. God save the Queen. That's all I hear and know about. I don't stop. British policies make the world England, sir.
Exactly.
I have never picketh my nose with anything but thine pinky. What are you talking about? I can't believe you got on my show and you said England, shit, England. Like what? We're just talking about low T, and this dude does the lowest T thing he could possibly do is come up here and talk about tea and crumpets and some shit. This is British.
Yeah.
I've never met a tough Englishman. I'm sorry, but they always talk about these tough guys, and I don't see it.
No,
they're letting these Pakistani people like grab their girls and women. Where are the men? Beat their ass, dude. They don't have guns or even knives now. Use your fisticuffs. Beat them up. What are you doing? I don't understand.
I know.
Pakistanis are.
It's a hell of a situation.
And they're like, oh, there are gangs of them. They're over here too, and we just laugh at them. They wear sheets and they smell. What are you doing? What is that? What are you scared of?
It's not like they can sneak around behind you. You can smell them before you see them.
And I shouldn't insult all of them. I'm just saying the ones that are doing that tend to be bad. You don't let them do that here. Maybe in Canada that's happening. Maybe in England it doesn't happen here. What I'm talking about is America, like real. This is the real world, not over there where the gays and the soccer is taking everybody by storm. I don't want that. And then they combine the two to make a super disease, gay soccer. Yeah. You know? Right? Look at Richard. He's mad. Richard would punch me in the nose if he could right now.
It's true. All the soccer players are on prep.
They are.
Yeah.
But you're not totally English, right? Aren't you like French and English?
No, my dad's
English.
Right from England, but my mom's like French Canadian, sort of. They're not really French though. It's from an English speaking part of Quebec.
Oh god, so they're not even the tough ones.
No.
The French Canadians are tough people.
Yeah, they are. They are.
But you're not that though. You don't have that.
Oh no, it's all backwoods where they're from. That's for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, the foothills.
So maybe there's a little redemption there, a Keaton redemption.
Yeah. There's some pretty backwoodsy dudes there that are in my family, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You got to come down here so you can meet some of the backwoodsy people that I'm from.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Dude, you want to? Stay on the porch, boy. My family, my cousin and Bo and me, one time we were working together doing security years ago, and we were guarding this subdivision, and these people were walking around with their little dogs, and there were coyotes just right there in the woods. We told them, And eventually one of them, you know, and this one little punk, I remember he goes, "Where are y'all from?" And he's got that, and he says, "We're from Taylor, Texas." He goes, "Where is that?" He says it with this disdain. And I said, "It's the furthest place from you." Next day, his wife's little poodle didn't get killed, but it got hurt really bad by a cow that just ran out of the woods and grabbed it and shook it. But he had the leash, and poor little thing almost died. And I said, "We told you." Maybe people should listen to country people when they tell you something instead of going, "Where is that? What planet is that?" They don't, the Skeksis, you know, and you're just like, dude, this is the backwoodsy people, right? And we listened to a talk show, and there was this guy, and he was like, "Hey, man," and my cousin goes, "Sounds like one of our cousins." So, dude, it literally did. It sounded like one of my cousins. Like, we were like, "Is that him?" No, that's not him. But Anthony can tell you. Especially on my dad's side. I'm probably the only one that doesn't have a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I do have a cowboy hat. I don't wear it on the show. But I'm the only one. I'm the only one, honest to goodness. You can even listen to a couple of my cousins been on the show. I'm the only one that doesn't have an accent.
Yeah.
I am the only one.
They're all roughnecks and ranchers.
Every one of them talks like this.
Yeah.
And then when you go to Thanksgiving or Christmas, there is a horde of us, dude. There's 100 and some people there. And that's not even everybody. We have a huge family on my dad's side. You wouldn't believe that many white people could fit into a building. And when you go there, everybody's wearing a cowboy hat. Everybody's wearing boots. And I walk in, I'm wearing regular shoes. And my cousin Muff always says, "Wolf, how's life in the big city?" Every time, this demented idiot. I always like, "It's fine. I'm surprised you haven't died yet. How's them crazy people up there? A lot of them." I said, "Yes, they are crazy. It's nuts." "Well, God be with you. I don't know how you do it. I go to the city about twice a month. I could barely stand it." The city he's referring to is the big city of Thorndale. There's about 2,000 people there, 2,800 maybe.
There's more cows than people.
More cows than people. That's the city to him. So I'm living in the big city to them. I am the city boy, right? And it's funny because I have a ranch too, but they're like, "All right, how you like being out there at the ranch? I bet you spend more time in the city though, don't you?" They like to razz me. I'm like, yes, yes. You know why? As enthusiastic as I am about manure, it's just not my thing. I really would rather be not smelling it at all. It's not. And it really aggravates them when I make jokes and stuff. I talk back to them. I say, "Yeah." But I actually do love the country. I love being out there in the sticks. I love it. It's so nice. You go out there, you can see all the stars. There's no pollution, no noise pollution. There's no pollution. There's no light pollution, nothing. It's just you and the dog man out there roaming around. That's it. All right, guys. I had a lovely time. Richard, as always, thank you. Class act. I tease him, I razz him, I mess with him. He's like my little brother.
That's it.
I love the guy. But he takes it and then he gives it back to the people that need to be given it back to.
Exactly.
He says the things that we all want to say.
Oh yeah, no holding back, baby.
No
holding back. Never.
And Anna, and I want to apologize. I wasn't referring to all people from England. I was making fun of English and Pakistani people, and I don't mean that literally.
No, ask them all.
There are a handful in each of those groups that are just totally normal. Don't go tell your dad.
Yeah. No.
He's like, "Bullocks, where is this whippersnapper? I will put dukes on him that he will never forget. Marquis of Queensberry rules? No? Right out. I'm going to rough him up. Good, steady rogering on his face. Breast, chest, neck, and head area. Not below the belt because that would be illegal."
You know what a rogering is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm giving him some oomph there so that he can be like, "Look, I'm going to, what for?" Just like we did in the Royal Air Force when we bombed Germany into submission with the help of 18 other countries. God save the Queen. We did.
Yeah, the good guys don't bomb civilians with 1,000 heavy bombs.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. So we're going to play our new song. and offend certain people, but not offend other people.
Good.
Yeah, but we're gonna play it. Let's play it, and I'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Love you
night we're
guys.
going to be
God bless.
on PRT. We're going to have a possible pre-record if we can get it done. If not, we're not going to do it. But it might. 7 o'clock tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Saturday, the best episode ever of Rumble in the history of rumbling. I believe. This is my personal belief. And I'm going to have Master Dick on there and Anna. Be there. All right, we're going to play with my new song, Eastern Front, and it's about the Eastern Front.
Try and get Trent back on.
I got him on speed dial. Hey, Trent. He's like, I'm over here at Fauci's memorial. What? He's still alive. Yes, but in case the evil Nazis come and put him in jail or try to do something to him, we're already doing a pre-memorial. That's where he'll be. Because, what's wrong with Fauci, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. We're going to play the new song. We're going to get out of here. Thank you to my co-hosts. Rumble, Saturday, 8 o'clock. Be there. Are you going to be there, Richard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Anna, you be there? Okay. All right,
Yep,
guys.
I sure will be.
You sound
Okay.
good now.
Good night. Of course, it's the end of the show. Of course, Murphy's Law, right?
They stifled you.
Yeah, we're
Your
not talking.
hair is too
Yeah,
blonde.
the dogs. What can I say?
Yeah, you're
The
too
dog's
blonde.
barking, though. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I can't even hear it. All right, guys. We'll see you
Okay.
Later, guys.
Bye.
later. It's terrible in those headphones.
The trains and trucks roll us on. We are moving tanks ton by ton. Crusade to destroy the red dragon. Stalingrad, Leningrad, the infernal cauldron. Machine guns blaze and it's bombs all day. Hope to go home victorious someday. The Stukas take the skies. Feels good to be alive. Panzers roll going one way. Machine guns blaze and it's bombs all day. Sanity fleeting, going away. Will I see my homeland again someday? Operation Barbarossa, Blitzkrieg running, lightning war, terribly stunning. There is no running, nothing stays hidden. There is no quarter asking, none will be given. Machine guns blaze and it's bombings all day. Never see home again anyway. We die or live to fight another day. Doesn't really matter anymore either way. Living in hell, Stalingrad, Leningrad. Who is winning? We cannot tell. Fight, fight, fight. It's a terrible fight. It's SS Wiking. Totenkopf and das Reich. Machine